Alright y'all, patch 8, the stress test, is out for Baldur's Gate 3 and it gives us access to all the new subclasses. Now, in this video, we're going to go over the Arcane Archer or the Fighter. Now, Larian is fine with people releasing information about this patch. You just have to make sure it's very clear that this is still a beta and it's not a finished product. So just keep in mind, at a minimum, this is just going to give you an idea of what the subclass is about. So let's go ahead and jump in game and I can kind of show you the leveling process. And then at the end, I'll have a gameplay section showing you kind of what it can do in like Act 3. All right, here we are in game. Like I said, I have an Act 3 character here, so you will see them absolutely juiced. Also, if you don't want this subclass spoiled for you at all and you want to go in completely blind, turn away from the video or just click off the video now. This is not meant for people who just want to experience everything fresh. This is for people who want to kind of see what the subclass can do and see if it's going to be something they're interested in kind of ahead of time. But anyways, so class we're going for here is Fighter. Fighting style, because Arcane Archer, well, it's in the name, it's going to be using a ranged weapon. We're going to be using a bow and arrow for this, so archery is the fighting style we want. And then for our ability spread here, strength is at 10 because we have the Hill Giant strength gloves. Constitution's low because we have the amulet that bumps up that up as well. We just want dexterity. Essentially, we're going to be bumping up our dexterity as high as possible. And then wisdom just for saving throws. So that's just the setup here. Let's go ahead and move on to level 2. So at level 2 here, we don't pick up anything new, just everything's normal right now. Action Surge is what we get. And level 3, this is where we pick up our subclass. So what we're going for is Arcane Archer. Now, you'll be able to see that we can pick up a cantrip. Really, cantrip-wise here, I would go with Light or Guidance. Guidance, if you don't have a Cleric, would be really good. But if you do have a Cleric, then Light is probably the better choice to go with. And then, so this is the subclass feature here. We get these Arcane shots. And I'll kind of go through them here. We get Banishing Arrow. So when you use this, so it's like a normal attack. We get Arcane Arrow charges. You can see it right there. This is basically going to be our resource that we spend to use these arrows, and they come back on short rest. So kind of think of them like Battle Master maneuvers. So really, really handy. Anyways, this one here, this will banish our target for 2 turns. And then you can see on miss, it does not consume an arcane arrow. So it's kind of like, think of it like Divine Smite for Paladins. If you miss your Divine Smite, it doesn't count as a spell slot. So kind of works like that. So that one's okay. Banishing Arrow, that's pretty decent. Then we have Beguiling Arrow here. So this will do an additional 2 to 12 psychic damage, and then they have to succeed a saving throw or be charmed. This can be really handy. Anything that's going to give us basically additional damage is going to be, I would think, like a high priority. So this Banishing one, maybe not the choice. This Beguiling Arrow here, pretty good. So this is definitely one to keep an eye out for. And then also that additional like charmed effect, really, really handy. And then the next arrow here is Bursting Arrow. This is going to be like a small AoE. Think of it like a fire arrow, but in this case, it's just explosive force damage. So this is also another very good choice. I'm already going to go ahead and put this on my my selected here. Now, as we level up, right now we only get to choose 3 of them. As you level up, you'll be able to pick additional ones. So don't be too worried about the ones that you lock in here because you will get more. But after the Bursting Arrow, we have Enfeebling Arrow. So this does a 2d6 necrotic damage. Now, necrotic damage, there's a lot of enemies in the game that are resistant to necrotic damage, so maybe not the best choice, but they do have to win their saving throw or they are feeble. And so they'll only deal half damage. This is actually a really nice condition with this arrow. So this is maybe another good choice of an arrow to pick up. But then our next up is Grasping Arrow. So this will do 2d6 poison damage. Poison damage is really rough in Baldur's Gate 3, just like necrotic damage. A lot of things are resistant to poison, but I think really it's the additional effect with this arrow that kind of makes it, I'd say, probably pretty worthwhile. So it will reduce an enemy's movement speed to 3, and then it will take 2 to 12 slashing damage when they move for 10 turns. That can rack up a lot of damage, especially early on. This is a lot of big numbers for the early game, and you get this at level 3. So right now, I'm a really big fan of Bursting Arrow, and then this Grasping Arrow. This could be really good, especially in the early game, or I guess throughout the game, because that's a lot of damage that could be potentially racking up. And so the next arrow up is Seeking Arrow. So this will do a 1d6 force damage, and it also has the possibility of adding Fairy Fire to your target. This could be really, really handy because you will have incoming attacks will have advantage on them. So this is great, like I would say, like party buff for anybody who is targeting what you hit. And as you can see right under the description, this arrow always hits its target. So this could also be potentially really strong. So as you can see, there's a lot of good arrows already, a lot of good choices, but we're not done yet. We have Shadow Arrow, which is a 2d6 psychic damage, and then the saving throw is they have to make it or they'll be blinded for 2 turns. That's pretty decent, probably not my favorite here. And then we have Piercing Arrow. This will do basically a straight line shot through targets. Think of it like lightning strike that sorcerers get, or it's just that straight line. It'll do that, but with an arrow. And so it'll do an additional 1d6 unless they, win their saving throw. And again, like all the other arrows, does not consume an arcane arrow slot if it misses. So those are our choices right now. I like the Fairy Fire one, especially for being like a debuff and a buff for or debuff to the enemy, but buff for your allies. And then I like Grasping Arrow. This could rack up a lot of damage. Bursting Arrow, it feels like it would be a nice AoE. So these are the first 3 that I'm going to pick up. I will pick up probably Piercing Arrow as well as we level up, but let's go ahead and hit level 4. And I don't think we get anything really new. We just get to pick our feat. Feat wise, I'm bumping up Dexterity as high as possible. Moving on to level 5, nothing different here. We just get our extra attack. You can change out the arrows whenever you want, kind of like spells. It's replace spell. It works like that. And then let's move on to level 6, where we should be getting another feat. We're going to take Alert. We just want to really make sure we're earliest in the turn order, so we can basically just dominate everybody. So at level 7 here, we get a subclass feature. We get Magic Arrow. All your range attacks are considered magical to overcome resistance. So what I was mentioning earlier about targets being resistant to poison or necrotic damage, well, by level 7, you don't have to worry about that. So that's a really nice feature to have. So now it'd actually be pretty good time to probably pick up one of those two if you like the way they work. But we also get Curving Shot. So when you miss any of your magical range attacks, use a bonus action to attack the next closest target with the same attack. So just kind of making sure that when you do miss a target, you get something out of it, which in this case is hitting another target instead. Really, really handy. We're going to hopefully see that in action in the gameplay section. But also at level 7, we get to pick another arrow. I want to pick up Piercing Arrow this time around, and we'll try to show off most of these arrows, or I might want to leave some of them for you guys to discover yourself. But I'm going to pick up Piercing Arrow because that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, and then level 8 here. Level 8, nothing new. We get another feat. I'm just going to go ahead and keep bumping up Dexterity. And level 9, we get Indomitable. This is just a normal fighter thing. And then level 10, we get to pick another arrow. I'm going to pick, I think I'm going to take the Enfeebling one. I already took the Poison one because of the movement damage. That's going to be really good. Banish Arrow, I don't think I like that too much. Charmed, I'm just looking at these real quick. I will just take the Blind one for now. We'll call it a day for this video. Level 11 Fighter, we get our improved extra attack. So we get 3 attacks with our martial weapons. But that's about it for this level. And then level 12, there's one feat that everybody who's probably screaming at me in the comment section is Sharpshooter. Yes, if you're going to be a ranged character, especially using a bow, crossbow, anything like that, you have to take Sharpshooter. You have to take it earlier than when I'm taking it now. You probably want to take this as like your first feat. So yes, I took a little bit later, but yes, I was remembering it. So that's the setup here. Let's go ahead and move to the gameplay section. So here we are in the gameplay section here. Just got a bunch of humanoids to attack. Gear wise, I'm rocking some pretty good stuff. Basically a lot of, I would say, best in slot for Act 3. So we're going to be doing a lot of damage. We're going to have advantage. Our constitution, our strength are super juiced up. And we have haste from Shadowheart over here. Now you can take a look at our arrows. They look just like battle maneuvers, except everything is just range focused. So I'm going to organize these a little bit to kind of show them off. Let's first start off with Bursting Arrow. So Bursting Arrow, you can see that's a large AoE. Now I have the Risky Ring on, so I'm going to have advantage on all my attacks. Also, because our fighting style is archery, that gives us +2 to our attack rolls. And then we also have the bow with +3 weapon enchantment. So we're basically never going to miss, essentially. And you can see how much damage we're doing already with it, with our range attack here. So 23 to 40 damage. That's a lot of damage for a range attack, especially because we're going to get so many of them because of our improved extra attack on top of haste. So let's just shoot it off and see what it looks like. You can also see the animation here, very cool. your character kind of holds their bow out and then casting a spell before they basically draw their arrow. Very cool. So let's see what this looks like. Nothing too flashy. So you can see that the target that you hit is the one who gets all the damage. They just got basically like splash damage, which admittedly wasn't that much, but you know, in the early game, that's going to be pretty handy for if you have a bunch of like low level mobs. So let's go ahead and show off piercing arrow next. Okay, so this is interesting. This is not as far as I thought it was going to be, but let's, you can see that we have, we're going to be able to hit both of them. And let's see if they take both the same damage. And they do. That was actually not as much damage as I thought it was going to be. Okay, so it took me a second there. I was wondering, like, why am I not doing so much damage? You can see that actually Sharpshooter is not being applied. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is still a beta, so obviously it's not the final product. So really we should be doing 10 additional damage, because you can see I have Sharpshooter all in. It is it's toggled right here, so it is on. It's just, yeah, it doesn't look like it's applying, but that's okay. That's what betas are for. So we kind of show off what else we can do. Let's go ahead and hit him with that grasping arrow, and I kind of want to see how that works with the movement. This guy here will come for us, so we see if we can hit him. Okay, so he saved his throw against me. That's fine. We'll just hit him again with it, and hopefully we can get him to fail a throw and get that condition on him. Nope, this guy's an absolute tank. All right, how about you? No. So they're just not having it. That's funny. So now look, Sharpshooter is actually working for these arrows now, and not. So it didn't work with the piercing arrow. That's interesting. Interesting. But it did work with these direct shots. So maybe it's actually not a bug. So something like bursting arrow, because it's hitting a direct target, this works with all in. Just reconfirming that. Yes, as you can see here on the right, okay, I thought my big hit might be in the way. So yeah, Sharpshooter all in, that does get applied to here. So it was really just piercing arrow that did not work for. That's interesting. All right, and to show off the other arrows, we're actually going to reload and kind of do the same scenario again, and we'll just use the other arrows really quick. All right, and we're back. Same fight here. Let's just see if we can get a little bit different results here as far as like showing off some of the effects that are going on. So seeking arrow here, this says this cannot miss. Let's put that to the test. Oh god, this says 15%. What does that mean? Okay, well, you can see it does a little bit of bending. That's really cool. Let's see how that works. That's really cool. That is really cool. I'm a big fan of that. So interestingly though, why did it say it couldn't miss? So like before, I think I also figured it out really quick again. That's part of the whole point of showcasing this. So the arcane shot, the seeking arrow here, the arrow can't miss, but that percentage chance was for fairy fire. So that's really good to know. So this is basically just a guaranteed way to hit targets. And then also, additionally, you could apply fairy fire to them. So really good arrow there. I like that. Now grasping arrow. Let's see if we can get that to trigger on somebody. Nope, everybody just seems to be continually just resisting that. That's fine though. We're going to go ahead and we're going to finish off this guy real quick. And then it's actually Shadowheart's turn. Now, for Shadowheart here, I'm going to try to just give him haste again so we can keep going. They're going to counterspell me. That's fine. We'll just use Quicken. Sorcerers are still busted, by the way. Okay, so they're good to go. They'll just hang out in the corner. So we got more attacks here. We can use all these other arrows. I really want to get this grasping shot to work. That's like probably the one thing that I want to see basically how much damage it does. He saved it as well. Let's see if you will save yours. No, but it killed him. God, I do so much. It does so much damage. Let's just try you again. Alright, so he has it on him. Okay, good. Don't kill him. That's basically the name of the game right now. We'll just finish off everybody else. Okay, that's good for now. Okay, let's watch him. So, he moves, kills himself. That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Indomitable, that's fine. I'm frightened, cool. What I've kind of learned from this is I thought we can kind of just end the video here. There's nothing really else to show off. We can just kind of, I guess, kill him really quick. So just to recap, bursting arrow here. It's at 2d6 in a 3 meteor radius around the target that you initially hit. That's what's going to take that bursting damage. I still really like that. Piercing arrow. This was not as great as I thought it was going to be. But this isn't a bad like AoE option. I was hoping that the sharpshooter trait would get applied to this, and at the moment it doesn't look like it does. So that's something to consider. Seeking Arrow here. Big fan of Seeking Arrow. This thing, I like that it doesn't miss and it has that chance to apply Fairy Fire. It'll go around corners. Really cool animation as well. So big fan of that one. This Grasping Arrow, if you can get that condition to go off and that you get that additional slashing damage, this could be really nice to take out tankier targets or any type of fighter class that's going to be moving towards you. Shadow Shot, we really didn't see this one, but you know what? I'm going to leave some things for you guys to discover. But yeah, that's the video. That's kind of my first impressions of the Arcane Archer and kind of how I would build them out. Now, keep in mind, like I said, this is in beta state, so this is not the full picture. This is not fully done. There may be tweaks, things they change up. And if you like Baldur's Gate 3 content, you know, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, or a small BG3 channel, or just kind of chill. Next up, I think I'm going to look at the Paladin, and that's probably the only other, I would say, stress test class I want to look at. All the other ones I'm not really super interested in, so it was really just Arcane Archer and the Paladin. So I will see you guys for that one. Peace and take care.